Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam.
Good Shabbos, everyone. Help us, as we always do, as we become a community, to find someone we're sitting near, we may or may not know, and introduce ourselves to them and wish them a good Shabbos. And for those who are online with us, if you'll do the same and wish one another good Shabbat, and tell us where you're watching from and that you're here with us. But also, you know, tonight is 7:30, you know that part, 7:30 service, which means it's a prayer book service. For those who aren't regulars, temple, it might sound weird when you say it's a prayer book service, as opposed to many of our 6:30 services where we just do meditation and sing the prayers. Formally follow the prayer book tonight as we begin in a moment. So, but for now, find someone you're sitting near, and you may have to get up since none of you are sitting near each other. Feel like we're on like a pandemic or something. You're all spread out.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech Malachi Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nir Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Mi Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Begin with the lighting of the Shabbos candles on page 16 of our prayer books. As we read responsively, let us welcome Shabbat with light and with love. May we bring Shabbat into our hearts, our souls, and into our homes. May the glow of these candles light our way in the world. May we never feel lost or alone with our people by our side. May the glow of these tapers bring a spirit of renewal to our lives. May see our world eyes that are wise. The flames we kindle inspire us to the warmth of our people and the faith that they cherished. As we bless these candles, so may we be blessed by their light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Prayer books are a new thing for me. I forget that we have to follow along as we give thanks for the sweetness of this day and the joy of Shabbat. We say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Bless you, God, ruler of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine, the sweetness of life.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'yahava וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה וראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר יציאת מצרים כי באנו ובחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת אמן.
Chaim. We continue on page 20 of our prayer books now that we've come together as a community as we rise for our call to worship. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bivaro ma'ariv aravim v'chochma poteh she'arim uvivuna meshaneh itim u'machlif et hazmanim umsader et hakochavim b'mishmerotea barakia kirtzono. Praised are you, our God, ruler of the world, who brings about the evening star. Your wisdom makes the dawn appear. You differentiate the times and seasons of our lives. The stars follow their courses as a sign of divine creative force in the universe. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or. Ma'avir yom v'layla, ma'avdil ben yom v'ben layla Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam ba'ed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. You have created the day and night. Even though you cause the day to disappear and you bring on the night, you develop a separation and distinction one from the other. We call you ruler of the universe, but you are our living God. May you create understanding among us so we might never take nature for granted. Praised are you, our Creator, who causes night to fall. As we recite the watchword of our faith, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
You shall love the eternal your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. They shall be a symbol before your eyes. Write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to your God. I, the Eternal, am your God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I, the Eternal, am your God. These eternal words have been a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path.
Faith and choice bring understanding to the soul and sensitivity to the heart.
In all times and places, our God has been a part of our lives.
Our faith has been our rock and our help.
We witnessed God's wonders when we went free from Egypt.
When slavery's chains were broken, we witnessed it.
May those who have the faith to believe also have the wisdom to be kind. O God, in whom we have all hope, we glorify your name now, as our people have praised you throughout history.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך רוב עניך, בוקע ים לפני משה, זה עלינו ואמרו, זה עלינו ואמרו, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה.
And in preparation for the Amidah, we rise together and we take a moment for our own private meditations, either following the words of our prayer books on page 25, or those our hearts might prompt.
תפתחו פי יגיד תהילתך. Eternal God, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Ve'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'Konei HaKol, Ve'Zocher Chastei Avot ve'Imahot, U'mevii Geula lifnei v'neihem, Lema'an Shemo b'yahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיעה, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You are holy, and your name is holy, and we sing your praises every day. Praised are you, the holy God. Please be seated.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום. להעמידנו מלכנו לחיים, לחיים. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom, Lishalom. Hamidenu Malkeinu L'chaim, L'chaim. Ufros aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha, ufros aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha. Amen.
Let us lie down in peace, O God, and permit us to wake up in the security of knowing that we are safe and loved. Be a shield around us and keep enemies, disease, violence, homelessness, and hunger far away from those we love. Keep us safe in the shadow of your wings, for you are our protector. You show compassion and mercy when you permit us the experience of seeing the shelter of your peace. Give to your people Israel and the world a time of peace.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני עשה את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת.
And together in the middle of page 29, we read our prayers for peace. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace. And give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country that it may always be a stronghold of peace and its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within its borders, health and happiness within its homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship among the inhabitants of all lands. And may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Blessed is the eternal God, the source of peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
As Paulette mentioned, I was just in Israel, and I'm back. But I thought to share a little bit now before our prayers for Israel and for the soldiers and for the hostages, some reflections on what I experienced, because I was blessed just coming home late last night, but to have been there with 14 members of the Shir Shalom community, along with my brother, the older and other Rabbi Moskowitz, and one member of his congregation, all to learn about the situation and to express our solidarity. As my brother Steve often says, we will never tire of going to Israel, regardless of the realities on the ground. And although beleaguered, Israel will always remain beloved. Although disillusioned with Israel's political leaders, I will never turn away. On this trip especially, though, I gained remarkable inspiration from ordinary Israelis. I'm confident that in the upcoming weeks, I will continue to be sharing my thoughts. Practically speaking, right now, I am overwhelmed and exhausted from the journey and still working on processing so much of what we experienced. But there's one story, one experience of which I want to share now, particularly because our congregation so generously supported our visiting the Lowenstein Rehabilitation Hospital. There we met a gentleman named Baruch. Baruch lost his leg on October 7th and sat before us in a wheelchair. Even though he's a retired major from the military and 72 years old, he served as the head of Kibbutz Magen security team, a smaller kibbutz located between Be'eri and Kfar Aza. One we haven't heard much about, as they only lost one member of their community, much because of Baruch. As the attack began, he had a sense this was much larger than a few terrorists crossing the border. He said he didn't know why, he just felt something. And so he instructed his entire security team, all 10 of them, to get all of their equipment and position them strategically around the borders of the kibbutz. And because of his bravery and foresight, the terrorists were unable to enter their kibbutz. And only one friend of his, Avi, who was part of the security team, died that day. He described in vivid detail the scene from that morning, including how his Toyota that he was driving towards the terrorists was hit by an RPG, where he was shot, how he laid low in the car waiting for others to rescue him and eventually be brought to a safe area. And there he and Avi, both injured, awaited their evacuation. He felt at his job in that moment, realizing Avi's injuries were more severe and life-threatening than his own, to keep him awake, to be by his side. And sadly, Avi died on the medevac helicopter on the way to the hospital. Because of their condition and the hectic nature of it all, the medics on that helicopter didn't necessarily know one from the other. And as a result, Baruch's family was mistakenly informed that he had died. And his son was called to go to Hadassah Hospital to identify his father. As he was brought into the morgue and the bag was unzipped, he said, "This is not my father. This is Avi." Frantically then running through the hospital, asking everyone, have they seen this man? Do they know of this man? They said, well, there's one unidentified, unknown man in the ER fighting for his life. He ran there discovering his father as they were performing CPR on him. And his son yelled and demanded they were not allowed to give up on him. They had to keep him alive. And that they did. Well, almost 6 months later, Baruch has only one more surgery to repair his good leg so he can walk with his new prosthetic. Smiling, he said that everything in life he's learned has meaning, has an identity, is connected to him. And so he has now named his prosthetic, he calls it My Lady. His wife appreciates his humor. He's already completed hours of therapy in the hospital, both physical and psychological. He will have hours more, but this man still exudes a passion for life and for his family and for his people. Even though not religious, but a proud secular kibbutznik, a few months back when a rabbi visited and offered to bless him, Baruch said no. He said, "My name is Baruch Cohen. I am a priest. I am a Kohen. I, Rabbi, have to bless you." The kind rabbi appreciated his perspective and asked him, "Okay, please do that." So Baruch took out his phone, Googled the priestly blessing for that first occasion because he didn't know the words, and he said it. And word got out of what Baruch had done for the rabbi. And they realized in the community there, his new home, how much more meaningful, how special this blessing could be. So others started asking for him and asking the same. And the next thing you know, some Orthodox women calligraphied the words on a special card for him. And he carries it with him in a little bag, little satchel he hangs over his wheelchair. And he regularly offers blessings now to others, no longer needing to look up the words on his phone. The other week, he was gifted a beautiful large tallis. And on the atara, the top of it, is the first line of the priestly blessing. May God bless you and protect you. You can see his pride, this secular Israeli, in sharing God's blessings in such a meaningful way. Our group sat around this long conference table in this small room with Baruch at the head of the table in his wheelchair. And as he spoke, we all sat mesmerized, listening to every word. Words, despite what he had experienced and his pain, were filled with acceptance and kindness and passion and faith. And he completed his story and he said that it was time for us to leave. Yet I felt as if our time with him wasn't really done yet. Something else was needed. So I explained the gentleman sitting right next to him is my brother, and that he happens to be a rabbi. I then outed myself too, and I shared that we say the priestly blessing with our congregants, or a baby naming, or a bat mitzvah, or a bar mitzvah, at a wedding, even at the end of Shabbat services. And the words have meaning and great power for us. And how much the more so now in hearing his story. And I then said, but yes, we're rabbis, but we're just Israelites. We're not priests. We're not Kohanim. And I said, would you, Baruch, be so kind to bless our group now, all of us together? And a huge smile came across his face. And he took out his inscribed card, and he asked my brother to come closer to him, saying, I have to place my hands on someone. And Stephen wrapped his arms around this man's broad shoulders as he put his hands on Stephen's head. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and guard you. He completed the blessings, and together we all said amen. But then he continued and said to our group, listen, be proud to be a Jew. He said, I've heard some Jews in our world today are afraid. They take down their mezuzahs and they hide their stars of David. Put your mezuzahs back up. Be proud to be a Jew. Although confined to a wheelchair, I realized then that he stands taller than we often do. Ordinary Israelis are indeed extraordinary. I told Baruch that the priestly blessing, the words we say often asking for God's blessing, God's words of protection, of God's light, are for me now forever changed. Really, for all of us who witness this moment and experience it, and not just the next time, but really every time these words are now shared, we will be thinking of him. We will carry his strength, and he will continue to bless us and our communities and our people and the Jewish people as we share these words. That as we ask, I said, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha, that God's light should shine upon us and through us, that he literally brings light to us, that he brought light to us and to our world, and that we will do the same in his honor, with his blessings and with his love. He inspired us all. And yes, as he asked of us, and reminded me of how proud I am to be a Jew. Am Yisrael Chai. Amen. Amen. With his words and that inspiration, we turn to prayers now for the people of Israel, for soldiers, and for those held hostage still on this day of 182. First, a prayer for the state of Israel. Avinu shebashamayim, sor Yisrael. V'go ado ba'arech et b'nidat Yisrael. Rock of Israel, bless the state of Israel, first fruit of the flourishing of our redemption. Guard her in the abundance of your love. Spread over her the shelter of your peace. Send forth your light and truth to those who lead and judge her, that they may walk in the way of justice, freedom, and integrity. Strengthen the hands of those who guard our holy land, and let them inherit salvation and life. Give peace to the land, continuous joy to her inhabitants, and soon fulfill the vision of your prophet. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, and let them learn no longer the ways of war. And let us say, Amen. And for the soldiers of Israel, we say, Mishaberach Avatenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'Imutenu Yisrael Kol Le'avrachel. Hu yivarech et chayalei tzeva Haganah LeYisrael. Merciful God, who's blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, send your blessings to the soldiers of the Israel Defense Forces who stand guard over Israel on land, in the air, and on the sea. May the source of strength preserve and rescue our soldiers from every trouble and distress, every plague and illness. May God send blessings and success in their every endeavor. May God bless our soldiers with wisdom, understanding, and insight. May God grant them salvation and crown them with victory. And let us say, Amen. And for those still held hostage on this day, Achenu kol Beit Yisrael, may God be merciful to our fellow Jews who wander over sea or land, who suffer captivity, persecution, and imprisonment. May God soon bring them from relief from distress, deliver them from darkness into light, from subjugation to redemption. And let us say, Amen. We continue with our prayers of Mishaberach, of healing for those in need of healing and strength. And as you will hear, we add our new friend Baruch Cohen to our prayers as he undergoes his last surgery and continue his healing too. But for all those family and friend who we think of at this time, please rise. As we walk around with the Torah, we reach out, we touch it, we mention names of those we're thinking of in our community. Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'Imutenu Yisrael Kol Le'avrachel. Hu yivarech at the Cholim, merciful God, who has blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel. Send your blessings to our loved ones stricken with illness and anxiety, friends and family we think of at this time. Elisayoto and Bob Alpiner, Amy Drysdale Atler, Deborah Bentley, Carol Berg, Michael Brody, Chris Burke, Karen Kasman, Alan Castle, Patty Seresny, Baruch Cohen, Steve Cohen, Richard Colton, Randy Diamond, Ann Gotro, Richard Gotro, Paul Glazer, Marty Gold, Batia Pesha Panina, Eva Haber Kornholm, Ty Hall, Don Marie Hock, Leon Klein, Scott Klein, Haya Aviva Batfegoa, Karen Coltono, Marta Lazar, Alan Lieberman, Zoe Marcus, Gary Martin, Len Meiji, Gail Mintz, Caleb Ben Ami, Lori Nosenchuk, Louise Oram, Reza Batlea Miriam, Carolyn Peterson, Eileen Porcelli, Daniel Pusta, Rachel Beit Chaim B'Chava, Marcy Fisher Reiners, Leslie Riggs, Laura Rosso, the St. Amand family, Stephen Siegel, Michael Schulman, Roberta Sanino, Susanna Stern, Len Turman, Karen Thompson, Stuart Thompson, Dot Berdan, and all the names in our hearts as we especially think of the over 6,000 Israeli soldiers physically injured since October 7th terrorist attack, all those in Israel and throughout the world, emotionally hurting and in need. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Chalim. Bless you, God, and give strength to those in need.
Source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say
Page 41 of our prayer books.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
O God, who heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds, give comfort to those who mourn. Give them courage and strength, compassion and kindness, and restore to them a sense of life's goodness. Give them the ability to accept the mystery of life and let them soon know peace. Help them endure that which no one can understand, and let us say, Amen. On this Shabbat, we think of those friends and family who have been taken from us in these most recent days, who Shiva, Shloshim, and Shana we mark. Mikulas Kuzdak, Harold Firestone, Gertie Ehrlichman, Cindy Zate, Alan Lippett, Barbara Becker, Paul Contour, Rabbi Daniel Schwartz, the 256 IDF soldiers killed defending Israel and working to bring home the Israeli hostages, the 1,200 individuals whose lives were lost in the terrorist attack in Israel on October 7th, and all the innocent lives lost during this ongoing war. And to their names we add those whose yahrzeits we mark, those whose anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate. Alvin Barnett, Dorothy Toady Barnett, Becky Barr, Barbara Bernstein, Ethel Coleman, Arlene Cummins, Robert Cutler, Francis Davis, Robert Eastman, Sophie Eisenberg, Ethel Cohen Elson, Kenneth Eskovitz, Ellen Fashion, Minnie Feinberg, Victor Finn, Eric Fishkind, Ruth Lambert Frank, Ola Freeman, Albert Fruman, Ruth Garber, Rose Glazer, Perry Gold, Herbert Goldberg, Morris Goldberg, Joseph Gillespie, Natalie Hadesman, Dorothy Kasmer, Morris Lazar, Harry Levinson, Shirley Liner, Irving Mannheimer, Anthony Meisner, Ruth Miller, Irma Mogul, Gia Negabor, Marjorie Pensian, Jerry Rosen, Stephen Rosen, Sella Rubenstein, Robert Schechter, Anne Sue Schwartz, Henry Seligman, Betty Shore Singer, Jerry Slinky, Arnold Slutsky, Marshall Stillman, Judith Erdan, Dora Weisstein, Florence Jovis, along with all the names in our hearts, and for those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. We join together on page 46 of our prayer books for the immortal words of the mourner's Kaddish, praising God for the gift of life. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Be'almad divrach chirtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'vyomachon u'v'chayei b'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam olmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kedusha richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushvachata v'nechamata, damiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, huyaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn. Comfort to all the bereaved among us here and everywhere. As together we say, Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, huyaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, huyaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, imru. Amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Shabbos, Rabbi.
So a few things to share on the horizon. Sunday is April 7th, the 6-month anniversary of October 7th. So we're going to mark that here at Temple with some learning together and some prayers at the end from 6 to 8 o'clock. And so we have a few different sessions you can choose from to learn about from the people who went to, some of the folks who were with me in Israel, share some of their experience and field your questions. Our community shlicha Lior will be with us as well, talking about some of the history that led up to October 7th and some of the current things. Our teens, our Israeli teens who are 19 years old, who are here for us this year, the Shin, will be with us sharing what it's like for them as well. And I'm missing the fourth thing.
Those are the three right now.
Oh, those are three things. That's
There
right.
could be more.
Right, that's right. No.
Depends on how many people sign up. We had more.
Right. And then at 7:30ish, we'll move into the sanctuary and do Havdalah together, but also some prayers and Kaddish and singing Hatikva as well. So it should be a
Sunday.
powerful and important evening to be together. Sort of remarkable that it is 6 months, right? Then on Monday night, we have a guest speaker here, and Rebecca Sofer, national writer who has a book on, what's it called?
Check what night it is.
It's on Tuesday, sorry. I'm doing it off the top of my head. I need to read on Tuesday, did I tell you I got home from Israel like 20 hours ago?
Just want to make sure you're not here Monday night. You'll be disappointed. You'll come back the next night.
Right.
You'll be here Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. It'll be good.
At 6:30 on Tuesday, April 9th, Rebecca Sofer will be with us, her book on modern loss, which is sort of a guide for those of us been through loss and talking about it. A program in conjunction with us and Temple Israel and Reboot and The Well here on the Bima as Rabbi Kaluzi and I will be interviewing the author. It should be really interesting, and we'd love for you to be part of that. Hot Topics on Wednesday night. Rabbi's teaching. Hot Topics.
Hot topics.
Okay. We'll find out later. Women of Shir Shalom on Wednesday at 6:30 is Passover potluck and recipe exchange. Please sign up for that. It was great and successful last year. You and I missed it because we were in Israel last year together, but we can go this time. And next Friday is a 6:30 service with a special oneg in honor of today's victory. Tigers winning 5-4 over Oakland in our opening game. We consider it the whole opening week. We celebrate next Shabbat with our beer and baseball and Bamba Shabbat. I threw Bamba in there because it's Israeli snacks. Instead of peanuts, I like the alliterations. I don't know. Rabbi was making fun of me earlier for that one.
I cut it because of all the allergies that the kids have and people around us. So, beer and baseball. We'll have some good stuff.
Yes. So that's
Hot
good.
dogs, sliders.
Right. Two great trips on the horizon. One in particular is our Cincinnati trip. Every year we're trying to add at least one, national adult trip to go on. And so that's a driving trip. But Cincinnati has a great history of Reform Judaism especially, and where Rabbi and I both studied for the seminary to become rabbis, and a lot of cool things and good food and enjoyment. So sign up for that. It's not too late to do that. And because people have been asking, we're looking at June doing another solidarity trip. The one I just did was literally 3 days, 2 nights. It was a whirlwind in Israel, and we packed so much in. This one we're looking at doing a full week at least with some we did a little bit of volunteering for a couple hours at a place called Iran's Angels, which is getting supplies to so many of the Israelis who are displaced. Still over 200,000 Israelis are not in their homes. Many in the Gaza envelope have been able to move back to their homes, but those from the north, we met with the vice mayor of Kiryat Shmona, who is currently living in Jerusalem because they can't live in Kiryat Shmona. It's right on the border with Lebanon. And so their beautiful city, their town, no one can live there right now. And so this place that we volunteered at, Iran's Angels, helps get supplies to families who had to quickly leave their homes. So our trip we're talking about in June, mid-June, I think like we're looking at the 15th, 16th, sometime around there. So if you're interested, just let us know. We're starting to collect a list and try to figure out the dates and solidify that. So, okay, your questions. Yes, Paul.
April 20th.
April.
Paulette's asking about, we have our artist, Gerhard Nodell, that made the tapestry here. Marilyn Finkel-Brown, a member of our board of directors, has arranged for us to be able to do another special lunch prior to a meeting with Gerhard Nodell, an artist that has an exhibition that's going to be, I think, somewhere in New York sometime soon. So we're going to get a preview, a pre-glow of that exhibit with him in his studio and be able to learn from him. And for anybody that's interested in that, It's April 20th. It's a Shabbat afternoon. If you're interested in lunch beforehand, you can join the group for it, then walk over to the studio. If you just want to go for the studio, you can be a part of that as well. But yes, it is the same studio that you went to a year ago with different art inside of it.
I think all the art we saw that time is in Washington, D.C. now. So that display, but it's new stuff he's working on, the latest, and hearing about that. Yes, Gary.
So for those watching at home, Gary enjoys both the 6:30 Kaya service and the evening 7:30 service that we have, like tonight. How do we decide which one we're doing?
It usually is how the calendar falls and what else is going on and what plays well to our schedules. If there's other things that we want to, collaborate with it on. But each of us have different preferences, and we like to mix it up. But we're consistently inconsistent. Tell us if you have a preference, and if you like the time. Okay, thank you. And look, there may be a time when we do 7:30 is always a bar mitzvah service. When there's people still like Friday night bar mitzvahs, and we have some of those every year, and we're not averse to that, right? But a lot of you some people come every week on and they lose their intimate service. So Paulette and Bob will come still for a bar mitzvah, which we appreciate too. But with our new space, which we are opening up on Sunday for the first Sunday for our religious school, we got our occupancy permit this week. So very excited for our religious school children and some of our programming. We'll be able to use that. We could do a 6:30 service that ends at 7:15 and then come in here, right? And so it's possible to be able to do both of those.
But if you like those 6:30 special services,
Matthew will do the 6:30.
a few other things on the horizon that we're looking at, because we calendar out for well in advance. June 14th is going to be our first outdoor service of the summer. And so we'll have a picnic at 5:30 that evening and then services at 6:30. But starting in September, one of the things that we realized a little bit ago was that the second Sabbath of every month, there was no bar bat mitzvah on a Friday night. And so for those of you that like the baseball bamba, beer Shabbat, or tacos and tequila, or the special themed onegs, our goal is to be able to do that. So we have a couple special guests. Our musicians in residence will be coming on those second Fridays of the month to be with us, to celebrate with us, to enhance some of those things as well, and what we're doing, as well as some special food and opportunities to gather as a community.
Yes. That's good. Good to know that. Maybe we'll do a blessing for those going to Israel on June 14th.
There you go.
Let's be optimistic. Look, it was a few people who asked about our first solidarity trip. Rabbi Daniel went in January with a group of rabbis. He coordinated with our friend Benny in Israel. And we had Rabbi Loss went with him, and Rabbi Rubenstein, a few others, and a bunch of rabbis from Ohio as well. And he came back from that, and we thought, maybe our Congress want to go. And our temple president, Allison Parr, her brother's 60th birthday, said, wouldn't it be nice for my birthday to do something meaningful? I think I want to go to Israel. And so they sort of helped organize, said, we're on board. And we threw a net out there, and we had 20 people who showed interest at first, and then 15 said yes and signed up, which is really important. And it was everyone, as we sat around on Wednesday night together and processed before we had dinner that night, everyone felt that they're really glad they're able to take the time to do this, how powerful and what they'll bring home. And you come on Sunday, you'll hear some of their reflections, because it was really different for everyone as well. So very powerful. I'll say one thing that we all sort of felt, though, that I didn't appreciate as much. Obviously, for us, we talk about the hostages every day, and it's I get dressed, I put a yellow pin on my clothes to remind myself as well. My wife always wears a necklace that says my heart's in Gaza, and for the hostages as well. But everywhere in Israel, every restaurant, every single place you go, it is omnipresent, the awareness of what people are going through. And that was very important and powerful for us to recognize too. Well, we have a little oneg to enjoy together tonight, but first, for a concluding prayer for our priestly blessing, if we rise together.
Want to do it?
I want you to sing it. It's good. I'll still, we do it our way, still the same words. Adonai v'yishmerecha. God bless you. May God protect you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuleka.
May God shine upon you. May God shine through you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yisem lecha shalom.
May God always be a part of who we are as a community, as individuals, as a people. Give us all of our hopes, our blessings, and most of all, the gift of shalom, of peace, in our heart, in our mind, and in our world. Amen.
V'yisem lecha shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Good Shabbos, everyone.